Let's shift our focus to Manipur, because Manipur is something that we talk about every day. We have to, we must. And now the Supreme Court is also talking about it. Today again, the Supreme Court is going to hear petitions and pleas and carry on with the discussion that it began yesterday. Now, what happened yesterday? The Supreme Court essentially pulled up the Manipur Police. That's exactly what happened, Varghese.
I think
it asked the Manipur Police, what are these 6,000 FIRs that you've been talking about? Why did it take you so long to act on that FIR, on that May 4th, sexual video that went viral? Give a breakup of all FIRs, and the Supreme Court may consider setting up of the panel, are the two most important things that came out of that.
That Hindu has captured. It says that
other quotations.
There are quotations right there. Give us complete breakdown of 6,000 FIRs that we're saying about it. This is from the Supreme Court to Manipur government. Court proposes appointing its own special investigation team. The bench surprised to find centre and state governments groping in the dark for facts about crimes which are public knowledge, reported widely in the national media. Case has been listed for today. So today also the
pulled the police for delay in filing FIR in the case of women being paraded naked, and this is what the Supreme Court also says. Interestingly, it says can't excuse Manipur crimes against women by citing other states, is what the Supreme Court has said.
I'll just read out what D.Y. Chandrachud had said. What he said is, what were the police doing from May 4th to May 18th? The incident came to light involving 3 women paraded naked in the presence of a mob. At least 2 of them were raped. What were the police doing for 14 days? That's the question that
we've been asking for the longest time.
So CJ has asked that very pertinent question as to what was the police doing for 14 days. This is his quote that
it is called the crimes against women in Manipur unprecedented. It says can't be equated with incidents in other states. What were the police doing till the 18th of May? What were the police doing till from May 4 to May 18th? Why were the assailants and perpetrators at large for these days? We will not distinguish between victims of the Kuki or Methi community. We will be even-handed irrespective of which community the victims or perpetrators belong to. Are you, calling out the interveners, are you saying do something for all the daughters of India, or don't do anything for anybody at all, is a big question that the SC bench had asked. The SC also asked the state government to provide within 24 hours statistics on the total FIRs that have been lodged, how many of those FIRs pertain to sexual assault. It has also asked how many 0 FIRs were filed, sent to the police stations, how many accused were arrested. It wants exact breakup of all of this data.
The court was shocked to know that the Manipur police took 14 days to register even a 0 FIR on the sexual assault and gang rape of 2 women in Tobal district on May 4th. The case was transferred to the police station on June 21st. Now, this again coming up for a lot of criticism, and the court has taken notice of what the entire situation has been in Manipur. Remember, earlier the court had given the leverage when the case was being heard to the local government, saying that the local government as well as the centre is doing what is required on their part to get things done. But then, when this incident has come out, because you had that video coming out, simple as that. You had that video coming out, pricking the conscience of every Indian over here.
Okay, so today, essentially today, when the Supreme Court is again, it convenes for this particular, hearing, there are going to be 2 important aspects that are going to be, touched upon. Of course, the setting up of the SIT, the Special Investigation Team, is something that's going to be, looked at. Apart from that, Varghese, there is going to be a proper, a committee that is going to be set up for a peace panel as well, because the peace panel that Amit Shah, the Home Minister, tried to set up when he visited Manipur a month back, that has completely failed.
That it became a non-starter, because I think though the intention was to go start off something kind of a dialogue and bring them onto the table, the peace panel never took off because already there was so much of distrust that had crept among community leaders, and there was also pressure on community leaders not to come onto the same platform, because they didn't want to they have to go back to their electorates, and their electorates were already upset with what has happened. Again, just to read out some of the statements of the Chief Justice. They are all daughters of India. The only difference is this: undoubtedly, there are crimes taking place against women all over the country. That is part of our social reality. However, in Manipur, we are dealing with something which is of unprecedented magnitude, mainly crimes and the perpetration of violence in a situation of communal and sectarian strife. Chief Justice Chandrachud statement on this. The Chief Justice said that nobody was denying the fact there were crimes against women, possibly in West Bengal as well. So he's saying that, of course, we were that day we were asking, shouldn't it be discussed? I said yes, violence in West Bengal or in Rajasthan should be discussed, but there is an important aspect of the violence in Manipur that has to be taken up first. So it's not that we are denying that the issue
in the parliament, Varghese, opposition is shunning, the Manipur debate. This is what the government says, and the opposition says that the government should make sure that the Prime Minister's presence is there inside the parliament before we start talking about it. Rule 176 versus Rule 267. 176 essentially says, and for the benefit of the viewers who don't essentially know, these are rules of the parliamentary proceedings. Rule 176 means you don't talk about it for more than a stipulated amount of time. They're saying it's going to be a short discussion, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And what's important to note here is that amidst this discussion, when the government is responding and replying on the Manipur issue, there is going to be no hoo-ha from the other side. There's going to be no clamor, there's going to be no ruckus. You'll have to sit down, there is no interjecting, cross-questioning, you'll have to listen. However, rule number 267 essentially means suspend all activities and talk only about Manipur. And before that, the opposition also wants the Prime Minister to come, give a proper statement inside the parliament on Manipur. Of course, we're ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha elections, and we're constantly looking at everything that's happening under the sun, under the political lens, and why not this one as well? So there is going to be furor again.
Very interestingly, I'd like to bring out one more aspect. John Brittas, the MP from the CPM,
right?
That when there was this entire clamor about being unable to discuss of what is happening in Manipur, very intelligently moved discussion point in the Rajya Sabha. What he did was this: he used the special mentions to raise the Manipur issue. Now, this happened on July 26. I'll just read out that small article. On July 26, CPI member John Brittas raised the Rajya Sabha the issue of Manipur violence and alleged assault on women there, and urged the government to take immediate steps to bring back normalcy and peace in northeastern state. Raising the issue in this special mention during question hour, Brittas said that the internet has been banned there and it was giving rise to fake news and disinformation in the violence hit state. Now, when Brittas used that special mention, most of them were looking at the internet ban, but they never thought that he would in fact bring the whole issue of Manipur up for discussion. So, there are guerrilla tactics that have been using the same rule book of the parliament. There are MPs who are trying to bring the discussion to the fore in the parliament as well.
Well, what's going to happen next today is going to be interesting to look at, because those two important things that are happening in Manipur. First of it, of course, is the fact that, the Supreme Court is going to be talking about that special investigation team that it will create on its own. It said, boss, look, we don't have trust on the Manipur police anymore. That's how they've pulled up the police. We'll have to constitute this committee ourselves. And the peace panel, what happens to this peace panel is going to be of grave significance as well.
But then we should see whether hinting at the possibility of formation of a committee to investigate this, or a SIT to investigate it, which could be court monitored, well, that would be a big step that would be taken, or one of the biggest steps to be taken when it comes to the violence that has happened in Manipur, because that would be a long-standing demand on the part of several opposition parties being fulfilled. But let's see how the court will take up the hearing today.